Hello, and welcome to the Beekeepers Picnic. This is part of Steam's Next Fest, and this is a demo. I saw this, and the Steam page says Beekeeper and former world's greatest detective Sherlock Holmes is arranging a surprise picnic for his friend Watson. Unfortunately, pesky mysteries keep getting in the way. Explore, find clues, and interrogate your neighbors in the cozy point-and-click adventure. So, Sherlock Holmes is not a detective anymore. He's a beekeeper. So, I assume that this is like a cute, cozy game. Point-and-click game. So, let's see. London 1903. Well, I was correct in my summation then. This is where the printing press created by the master counterfeit Prescott was hidden. There must be 2,000 counterfeit notes here. If all these had entered circulation, the Bank of England would have been severely undermined. Now we have only to wait and catch the bird returning to its nest. You think this man Prescott will return here? No, he was killed. It was his murderer I mean to catch. It is his murderer I mean to catch, James Winter, alias Killer Evans, known to have shot 3 men in the States. Well, if our Wild West friend tries to live up to his nickname, I will be ready for him. I have my revolver. Good old Watson. Stay where you are, Mr. Evans, if you value your life. You have a gun trained on you, and Scotland Yard will be here with us in a few moments. I would advise surrender. Well, I guess you have been on... I can't read. Well, I guess you have been one too many for me, Mr. Holmes. Saw through my game, I suppose, and played me for a sucker from the first. I guess you have been one too many for me. I don't understand what that means. Well, sir, I hand it to you. You have me beat and... Watson! You're not hurt, Watson? For God's sake, say that you are not hurt. Oh, no. It's nothing, Holmes. It's merely a scratch. Examine for yourself. It is just a flesh wound in my thigh. You are right. It is quite superficial. Is Killer Evans... Yes, a clear case of self-defense on your part, dear fellow. Perhaps it is just as well that it should end this way. If he had killed you, I would not have let him get out of this room alive. Aww. Holmes, I do wish you would stop that. Stop what precisely? Ruminating over my injury. You said yourself that it is a flesh wound, quite superficial. I will be back on my feet again in no time. You must stop worrying. I was doing no such thing. I was considering an entirely different matter. I may not be a master of observation, but I have known you long enough to think otherwise, my dear fellow. There must be some way for me to help Watson. Making a close observation of him will be a good place to start. Oh. Examine. My intimate companion and biographer, Dr. John H. Watson. Shall we see what can be observed about him? I should visit my brain attic afterwards to see what dedication can be made based on my findings. He was shot in the left thigh. The evidence is mostly gone. His blood-stained trousers have been burned. The bandages are not visible under his clothes. I can tell from the way that he sits that it is still causing him some discomfort. Poor Watson. He has had quite enough gunshot wounds for one lifetime. Holmes, are you brooding again? I am touched that you are so affected. Deeply touched, but I hate to see you keep berating yourself. It is a yellow-back novel entitled The Lady Detective Makes It Right. There's a picture of a young lady examining a footprint on the front and an advertisement extolling the virtues of cocoa on the back. His look of concentration is occasionally interrupted by him wetting his lips and clearing his throat slightly. I have just observed something important about Watson. I should enter my brain attic in order to see if I can make any deductions. Is this the brain attic? Welcome to my brain attic. I like to think of my mind as a space full of well-chosen materials, information which I can draw on in order to complete my work. I keep record here of people who are significant to me, represented by portraits on the wall. This blackboard is very important. I use it to combine observations I have made in order to make deductions. Metaphorically, of course. Mycroft and Watson. Watson, he should not be here by rights. This is a place of facts, of logic. He is a distracting factor. Grit in a sensitive instrument. Yet I find that I want him here, all the same. My brother Mycroft, he is my superior in observation and deduction, although he does not have the energy or ambition to be detective. Instead, he uses his capacity for storing facts in the aid of the government. Indeed, it could be said that occasionally he is the British government. Deductions. Facts you discover will appear in the box below. You can combine them to make deductions and further your investigation. Watson keeps clearing his throat. I have some important news to share with Watson when I know that he's quite comfortable. I should examine Watson and the room for clues about how I may be able to help him and then combine any facts I discover to make deductions. Okay. A newly washed glass beaker. A single silk embroidered slipper in an oriental style. I lost its partner many years ago. Since then it has been used as a receptacle for tobacco. Oh, there's water down there. Or a water-looking rug. Aha, the remains of Watson's dinner. From the color of the sauce and distinct smell, I think that this once held a portion of Mrs. Hudson's quite delightful curried lamb, a delicious dish which has sometimes even induced me to overindulge. However, it is quite spicy and salty. I have just observed something important. I should enter my brain attic later in order to see if I can make any deductions. Well, I think you want to give Watson some water. An eclectic selection of books. Once Watson's novels and my own reference books were carefully delineated. Once Watson's novels and my own reference books were carefully delineated, but after many years of living together, they are hopelessly muddled. Okay, it's the same. Well-used set of chemical equipment. The solution to some of my most complex cases have been brought here over Bunsen burner and beaker. Gasogene. This is Dr. Watson's gasogene. It is quite a clever device. The lower chamber contains water, the upper contains tartaric acid and sodium bicarbonate. The two chemicals react, producing carbon dioxide and carbonating the water. For some reason, he prefers to drink his water fizzing with bubbles. There are usually some glasses here, but they are absent. I will have to improvise. I don't want to carry around a delicate glassware unless I have a specific purpose in mind. Okay, so let's go to the Attic. Watson has eaten the curry and now he is clearing his throat often and licking his lips. I conclude that he is rather thirsty. Hardly my most illuminating deduction, I grant you. However, the mechanism remains the same when I am solving much more complex problems. I should find him something to drink. I could ring for Mrs. Hudson, but Watson would find it more charming if I were to find him something to drink myself. Oh. Okay. Aha! Yes, I shall take the beaker. I don't know what to move it. It fits rather neatly in this corner. Oh, converse. Okay. I hope you will momentarily forgive me for casting aside the diaphanous fourth wall which exists between us, but you must take the beaker from out of my inventory and use it with the gasogene. Thank you. There, I now have a beaker full of sparkling water. Here you are, my dear fellow. You seem to be thirsty after your curried lamb. Apologies for the container. Mrs. Hudson seems to have purloined all our glasses. It is clean, I assure you. Thank you, Holmes. You are right. I am more thirsty than I realized. I will trust you to have avoided cross-contamination when it comes to your scientific equipment, and that this is not an attempt to poison me. Well, I have done that for him at least, but... Ah, God, I can't read. Well, I have done that for him at least. Perhaps I should stop delaying. There is something important I need to speak to him about. I'm here to be of use, but perhaps wait a while until this particular gunshot injury has healed. Oh, I pressed the wrong button. Where are the glasses? Have you written any stories? Have you considered getting a dog? We must discuss something important. Wait a moment. The thing I wish to say to Watson is quite significant. Am I ready to take the step? Yes. Watson, we must discuss something important. Earlier, you presumed that I was berating myself for allowing you to come to harm, while my thoughts have turned that way often ever since you were injured. It was not what I was thinking of in that moment. Rather, I was trying to decide how to share some important news with you. I have decided to retire. Retire? Yes. To sequester myself away on the farm of my dreams. I have a notion to take up beekeeping. Give up your detective work? Surely not. You are simply upset because I was hurt. In a week or two, no. I am quite certain. In fact, I purchased a cottage and some land in Sussex several months ago. I do not crave the thrill of detection as I once did. It is a task for a young man, and I am no longer young. It is time to move on. But what am I to do? Whatever you like, Watson. I am not your keeper. It is a rather large cottage. Holmes. You know that I will never tire of your company. A countryside retirement sounds idyllic, yet this is very sudden. I am not certain I am ready for that kind of seclusion. I still have a few decades worth of a perfectly respectable medical career ahead of me and people here who rely on me. Once I fail to supply the curious adventures which thrill you and provide you with material for your sordid magazine stories, you lose interest in me. Is that it? Of course not. You know that is not true. Or perhaps you have set your sights on marrying the sensible and pretty matron who brings you flowers and writes you sweet nothings. If you propose, I am certain she will agree. She has not been subtle about her intentions. Holmes, you are being childish. Yes, I suppose I am. Of course I will come with you if you need me. If you ask me to join, I will. No, I cannot ask that of you. You are loyal and true to a fault, my dear Watson. And I am certain that you would give up your own passions to join me in mine. If you did, a seed of resentment would be sown which might drive us apart in the end. I could not endure that. It seems that we are being drawn along different paths then. Yes. Strange, isn't it? Yes, very strange. They were wonderful years, weren't they? I loved every moment. Watson, they were glorious. We were glorious. You won't vanish on me, will you, Holmes? You won't simply disappear without telling me you are going? I could not bear that. No, I think I have a little more sense these days to engage in those kind of theatrics. Should you need me, Watson, you will find me in Sussex, keeping bees and reading philosophy. You will always be very, very welcome. 1920! That's 17 years later. Is that Watson? Was the World War One? Is he back from World War One? I need to. I'm not good with my history. Yeah, 19 World War One was from 1914 to 1918. Okay, Watson. Good afternoon, Holmes. I must apologize for turning up out of the blue like this. I know I should have written to you ahead of time. My ship came in this morning and I found myself unceremoniously deposited back in England. I couldn't face the hubbub of London. I really am dog tired, and you do have rather a good track record of perking me up when I'm back from war. So I hoped, if it is at all inconvenient, then you must tell me. I'm certain I can find alternative accommodations. Watson, kindly stop talking nonsense. Come inside, get out of that uniform and make yourself at home. You must stay for as long as you like, my dear Watson. Watson is by my side again. I must ensure that he is able to rest and recuperate, and find a way to tell him, well, many things. But how? Some grand gesture, perhaps? A picnic? On the cliff tops? He would like that. The perfect moment of peace and tranquility after the bloodshed he has seen, all the lives he has saved and not managed to save. However, I have a sense that I am currently not in a fully developed world, but a mere demonstration. Perhaps a full picnic will not be possible at this time. I will content myself with attempting to fetch some honey from the hives. Oh, do I need beekeeping suit? Yes. Bullet holes. I decided it was only fitting to update the old regal monogram from Baker Street. Of course we have a new monarch now, George B. However, letter G does not lend itself well to calligraphy by bullets. Okay, I wanted to click that on the earlier... Oh, it's perfectly fine where it is. Make use. Yeah, make use. Puppy! Watson, wake up. How are you feeling? Very well, thank you. Your old war wound is not bothering you? No, I think this warm weather is good for it. What about you, Holmes? Your arthritis? Arthritis. Are you entirely sure I have arthritis? Yes, I am. I'm sorry, Holmes. I don't mean to act like a mother hen. You cannot help being a doctor, Watson. Goodbye. Goodbye. Toby the third. No, not pick up. I wanna look at. Noble hound, the finest canine in all England, with the best nose. Toby the third of that name. Gosh, I say that's a little rich. All true, of course. Would the great Sherlock Holmes accept anything less in his loyal hound? Can I converse? Hello, master. You're a good boy. Well, naturally. And I think you are a good human, Master, especially when you give me bones. It's a pity that for all your intelligence you can't understand me. That's enough talk for now. Very well. Honey extract. Tilda? My young neighbor, Miss Tilda, she seems to be poised as if to cast her little fishing net into a pond. However, there is no pond. I can only conclude that in a full version of this game she will be in another location more suited to her favorite pastime. Miss Tilda, the niece of my old friend Miss Hunter. The stains on her dress are characteristic of the meadow to the north of my cottage. The dirt under the fingernails suggests that she has been digging. There are no calluses of the kind I would associate with daily piano practice. Her flower crown is made from the yellow yarrow which grows to the north of my cottage. Her hair is untied and unbrushed. Yeah, I don't think I get anything else, yeah. Yeah. The butterfly? No. Can I go into my... Oh. There's a lot of new people here. Toby. Okay, I can't deduce anything from her. Come now, be specific. What do you wish me to use the extractor with? Oh. I'm not sure if I need these. Oh. Pick up. Please don't take that, Mr. Holmes. I needed to catch my newts. Of course, I understand. Okay, so... Okay, I want to put on the beekeeper suit. And then I want to use the smoker. It has been known for time out of mind that bees are calmed by smoke. The precise mechanism is matter of hot debate in apian circles. I am of the opinion that bees communicate danger by releasing subtle smells to one another, which the smoke interrupts. I wrote a short monograph on the subject if you are interested. It only takes a light touch. I do not want them to be stressed. There's a full tray of excess honey here. I will take it with me. Now, do I put the... The honey is now in the extractor, ready to be drained into a container. I will take the empty tray with me. Okay, keep... Oh, do I put it back to the... Just in case. There. Now we can go. Find a jar for the honey. Can I use... No. So can I use arrow keys, but... Creepy dog statue. A Staffordshire pottery dog. Watson bought it from the village fete. I detest it. Martha. Kitty! Hutch, who I think I must begrudgingly consider to be my cat, or else I am her human. She turned up one day and has not left me, at least. Can I converse? And how are you today, Puss? Your studies of the local rodentia are proceeding well? Aww. Martha. My old housekeeper, Martha. A stalwart woman with an iron will. She always smokes that particular pipe when she is in a bad mood. Her hands speak of decades of scrubbing and cleaning. I believe she was a scullery maid in her youth. Her hair grew very thin many years ago, and so now she crops it short and wears a wig. Aww. How can I make a good picnic? Martha, I'm planning a surprise picnic for Watson. What key components would you suggest are required? A surprise picnic, eh? This isn't secretly some scheme, is it? A scheme? You're not setting this up in order to capture a gang of counterfeiters or such like. No, I am setting this up in order to enjoy a picnic. Ah, well, it was worth checking. I would have thought the location is very important. A quiet spot with a beautiful view, perhaps. You will need a hamper. Or food, naturally. I recall from his previous visits that the doctor is very partial to Mrs. Kumar's elderflower cordial. I imagine he would appreciate a bottle. However, Mr. Holmes, you know we are only in a demo, don't you? Well, naturally. The fact that I cannot leave the bee farm or go upstairs in my own house makes that abundantly clear. Perhaps you had better focus on something you can get here then. Some honey, perhaps? Where are my lockpicking tools? And why do you need those? It is simply a hobby, you know. I have written various monographs about how lax some modern forms of locks are, how easily the skilled cracksman can break them. Top drawer of your dresser, Mr. Holmes, and you should be clapped in handcuffs and carted away, and I wash my hands of the whole affair. And should you be clapped? Okay. Thank you. You will keep out of mischief, won't you? Telephone. Old-fashioned model, but it serves me well enough for keeping in touch with the world beyond my hermitage. I could use this to phone my brother Mycroft should I require his assistance. May I take this, Martha? I may need it to exhume a body. Of course, Mr. Holmes. It doesn't belong in my nice, clean kitchen in the first place. Did you say exhume a body? Goodbye, Martha. Now, where can I get a... And it said we cannot go upstairs. Right? I don't think I need to go upstairs at the moment. Clearly, in order to see how many bedrooms I have, you will need to wait for a later version of the game. Now, where can I... Are you doing some gardening, Mr. Holmes? No, I'm digging up a corpse. Ah, I thought you were doing some fun, like gardening. Amusing, but no. Okay. Maybe I should talk to her. May I have the jam jar? Sorry, Mr. Holmes, I need the jam jar. It's very, very important. When I catch a newt, I need to put it in there so I can take it home to the tank where it's going to live. I see. That is important. I would not want to deprive of you deprive you of your newt. If I were to find you some kind of specimen of natural history which is more interesting than newt, would you surrender the jam jar to me? Better than newt? That sounds very tricky, Mr. Holmes. I enjoy a challenge. You're on. Goodbye. Okay, would you like the fossil I saw in the... He said historical. The fossilized remains of an extinct marine arthropod. I found it on the beach some years ago. I keep little cloths in there for cleaning my spectacles. Honestly. Trying to see if she'd like the trilobite. I have a present for you, Miss Tilda. For me? That's for me? It is the fossil of a trilobite, an extinct kind of sea creature. Thank you, Mr. Holmes. I love it. I love it so much. May I have the jam jar now? Of course. Haha, I did it. I wonder what I'm gonna do with the shovel, though. Empty hive. But I put this back. Why do I still have it? Oh, I have a surprise. I'm gonna talk to Watson. Tell him I have a surprise. Watson, wake up. I have a surprise. A surprise? Yes, one worth waking up for, I assure you. Follow me. I only have the honey. What's all this then? It's a picnic, naturally. I see. Holmes? Yes, dear fellow. I can't help but notice that for a picnic there's a distinct lack of food and drink. Indeed, yes, I must ask for your forgiveness on that point. I was rather limited by the constraints of the machine. The machine? Yes, the machine. It is quite obvious to me that this world you and I inhabit is pure artifice. A mere sketch of a fuller work which the Creator hopes to complete one day. Haven't you noticed that there is nothing to the left of my beehives, no upstairs to my house, that I have been led by an unseen guide to perform some quite strange actions? This unseen Creator tried to design a trifling obstacle for me concerning my hives and collecting jar of honey. I completed the trial, and so here is your prize. Spring Sussex honey. Why, thank you, Holmes. You know that I enjoy having this on my toast at breakfast. It has occurred to me that you may not realize that is, I may have made a grave oversight of not making my deep regard for you clear. Without you, Watson, I would have been lost long ago. If you are right, Holmes, and we are in some make-believe world, I'm pleased that the person who created it ensured that we would be here together in such a beautiful place. We can hardly exist apart, I think. Do you suppose the unseen hand that has been guiding your path has enjoyed spending time here with us? Perhaps. I imagine it was small diversion at least. You know, Holmes, with all this talk of picnics, I am rather hungry. Perhaps we could go to the pub for a meal. Unless the pub doesn't exist. Oh no, dear Watson, I don't think you need to fear on that count. The game has to come to a close, and so you and I are free to walk off into the wider world of the imagination, where there is a little thatch-roofed pub nearby which will serve us quite excellent cottage pie, and we can enjoy one another's company for all eternity. Come along. Do visit us another time, won't you? Ah, I like that. That was such a cute little demo. The release date for this game isn't for another year, so we have to wait for quite a while to get the full game. But I'm definitely gonna wishlist this. This was so cute. This is alpha demo 0.2, so I wonder if I'm gonna keep this in my library and see if they update it before the game comes up. We'll see. Oh, I enjoyed this a lot. If you like this game, please wishlist it. It helps the developers a lot. And if you enjoyed this video, thank you. And I'll see you next time. Okay? Okay. Bye.